All right, Miss Credle, man. It's a pleasure having you here on the Go-Go Roundtable. Thing is, you're here for culture. See, we're here because the culture, we have to have you here for that, man. Your contributions have been incredible with the whole culture, the area. You infuse the music in your projects. I've been following you for a while. You know what I'm saying? So this is big for me to finally meet you. Cool, cool. First thing I want to ask you is this: where did you grow up, Mitch?
Um, I lived over in Southeast Butler Gardens until I was 12 years old.
Okay,
And once I got to junior high school, we moved uptown. So I went to Lincoln Junior High School, then Cardoza, then UDC.
copy that. Wow, Butler Gardens, I can imagine. So, like the era we're talking when you were younger, that era, what years was that between when you were over there?
I was in Butler Gardens like between until 1975, man.
Hmm. That gives me it's gonna lead to other questions, but it tells me a lot. So I'm sure you saw a lot over there young that probably influenced some of the things you're doing now.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a little different, of course, back then. Yeah, over in Butler Gardens, early on, a lot of the older guys kept us away from a lot of things that was going on in the neighborhood. But we were very mischievous because of our age. Of course, I'm younger, and then we had the teenagers who were always influencing us to do a lot of different things in that community. Man, I mean, we did everything we weren't supposed to do. Man, I mean, living over there, going to Moulton Elementary, and hanging out with dudes and brother gods, man. We did everything, but we learned how to become very independent with that, man. We were very instrumental in like doing things like building our own clubhouses, building our own go karts, building our own tree houses. Man, we were doing everything because we were, hands on. We didn't have a lot of the things that kids have today, so we had to create our own toys and. I mean, it was just a different man, and in Butler Garden, you come outside 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't go, and especially during the summer, you don't go back in the house until 11 o'clock at night or whenever you had to go in. And the parents, no one was looking for you, man, as long as you weren't getting in trouble. And it was just a blessing, man. Even though it was the hood, projects, whatever you want to call it, but it was loving. People cared about us, and we stayed in our complex.
A little later. So, how did your high school experiences sort of influence where you went as a professional? What made you go that route?
Um, well, what made me go the route I went as far as the police department? I mean, being in Cardoza, up in that environment, of course, we're right in the middle of everything. Cardoza is right in the middle of Clifton Terrace and Garfield Terrace. So those are two, like dangerous neighborhoods back in the day. A lot of things were going on, so the environment was always just a lot of things were going on, man. I mean, even in the evening when we were in school, I go uptown. I lived up on 10th and Spring Road. Just getting from school to home, there was a lot of things going on. And at night and on weekends, we hanging out. We going down 14th Street, hanging out where the pimps are. We sneaking into the all night movie theaters. And we and I didn't think all of this. Leaving Butler Gardens at 12 years old and moving uptown from Northwest at the age of 12. I thought we were moving to a rich environment. That there were hoods uptown in Northwest. There were street guys in Northwest, gangsters. They were, man. It was no different. So nothing really changed. It's just that my eyes was open more because now in Butler Gardens I'm strictly doing everything in Butler Gardens. When I got uptown, it's like I'm in like the world has become bigger, so it was much more to get into, and that's what we ended up. We was very mischievous. We did a lot of stupid stuff, but the experience of Cadoza was very instrumental in me just making what I call life decisions, man, because so many, as I mentioned, older guys were always trying to steer us in the right direction. And my life reality hit when I left Cardozo. When I went to Cardozo, my dreams were always to play football, play college football. And I did play high school in Cardozo for 3 years. But when I got to the 12th grade, and I realized I wasn't getting college offers, I wasn't, getting the things I thought I was going to be getting. I had to really start thinking about life. So my senior year, I took a part-time job at the United States Department of Agriculture called the Stay in School program. So I started developing how important it was to be in the real world, to work. And then as soon as I get out the dozer, had a child. So life reality smacked me in the face at a young age. But I'm glad I realized that at a young age, opposed to trying to chase some dreams that was just too far out there for me at that particular time. Number one, I was very small. I just suffered an injury playing high school football. So I had to realize that at that particular time, as I always tell a lot of young people today, at some point the air is going to go out of your ball. When the air go out of your ball, what are you going to do? So mine came at 12th grade, 17 years old. So I had to make a decision, and that's when I went into the work world.
I got you. I got you on that. The next question I wanted to ask about was the law enforcement. Because see, before I met you, I heard a lot of things about you. Because I said I was following your art, right? But I had met you. But some guys I know, like I said, on both sides, your character though is what cats were talking about. Like I'm telling you, like I mean, cats were telling me good things about you, guys that were breaking some laws and guys that weren't. And guys that were breaking some laws were telling me things like situations they might have been jammed up in, and you know, got them through that. You know what I'm saying? So that, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, my thing was always, to be fair. One thing I learned about when I did join the police department in 1986, some of the, older cats in the police department would tell me that, you are as good as the community make you. You are a police officer now. You can make decisions that can affect other people's lives. You will be in positions at times where you don't always have to lock up someone. You will be in positions where you can help a lot of people opposed to putting a lot of people in jail. He said when you know people and you get to and when people really respect you, when you give them the opportunity to change their lives, they're going to do it opposed to disrespecting you and and doing the same thing again. So I use a lot of that to my advantage to help a lot of people. I was always fair. I didn't lie to guys. I was, straight up. Even when I got the homicide and I started investigating murders, if I knew someone who I was going after, I would go to them and say, "Look, man, unfortunately, I have the case." And don't say nothing. I tell them, don't say nothing, but I want you to know I have the case. And if it's a situation that you feel as though you need help in this situation, we can talk. I'm gonna keep it fair with you. I'm gonna keep it right with you. You know, but I have the case, and I know you. They know I know they did it, but I didn't want them to put where they confessing or saying something improper or doing. I always tell them just chill, don't say anything. But I would just fab with people, man. I did that my entire career. And then when dudes got hemmed up by other detectives, other police officers, and I knew from the community that wasn't them, I made sure that they didn't go down for stuff they didn't do. I wasn't with that. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about this. If I knew someone was sitting over that jail and they did not do the crime, I damn was acting like they're defense investigators. Where I showed detective showed the officer, look, man, this dude couldn't have done it because of boom, boom, boom. And I just made them take their handcuffs off people, man. I just wasn't with that, man. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You don't put people away because of something else they done. If they did something, you catch them with what they did, that's fine. But don't get them because they did something else you couldn't get them with.